Hey guys, it's Will. So in this video, we're going to be going over CTM stock. We just wrapped up our live trading in StockMate here at Market Open, and look what stock's leading the way in AI and large language models, machine learning. We see up here at the top is CTM. We got in this position yesterday, so it's only $145 profit so far on the position, but we're up about 200 today because we ended the day down a little bit yesterday. So as you can see, it's basically, this is what we're looking at. This is a stock that was continually selling down the past week. So you can see the sell off, and basically we're saying it was approaching this rising support, and we bought here. I thought this was the moment at $1.05, but then it pushed up and it was looking good. It sold back down though yesterday to $1. And then we saw it bounce and break out of this pattern. Why is this important? Because the next level, if we zoom out on CTM, is this right here. So you see how you have this trend developing right here that's swinging back and forth. Well, look at that. It's starting to swing back up. Potentially could see it get into this $1.50 to $2 range. And the company is so interesting to me. And part of the reason why we're trading it and our portfolio, we see some of the other companies up. Nvidia is up. Portfolio is up about 5% today. And this morning in our live session for StockMate, we were talking about some of the institutional investors in this company, CTM. If you guys aren't familiar with CTM, it's Castellum Inc. They have government contracts that are in the hundreds of millions of dollars, but their market cap is just 75 million. This is where it gets interesting. We're looking at the company's institutional holders, and before even looking at this, I was looking at, okay, they don't have a net income that's negative. If we looked at their financials for CTM, the thing that was standing out is that their revenue was at 11 million a quarter. So they're bringing in about 55 or $45 million a year so far in 2024. And then their net income was just negative about 1.2 million. So they're up 86% year over year. This is where it's interesting. Their revenue is 11 million, but their market cap was just 75 million when we started looking at it. We've traded this stock time and time again over the past few weeks. Even in a market sell-off, it's been consistent. And this institutional indicator is something we looked at this morning. What we see normally is you look at a stock like Rigetti or you look at a stock like Big Bear AI. You might see institutional holdings that are much greater than just 6.2%. Right here on CTM, according to NASDAQ, the institutional holders, we don't see BlackRock in it yet. We don't see Charles Schwab, but we do see some interest from, for example, Vanguard. Vanguard's got about 80. What do they have? They have $90,000, just $90,000. State Street, they got about $53,000 in the company. You look at Bank of America as well is in there, and they got a little bit. But we're not seeing Goldman Sachs. So Goldman Sachs is in there. They sold out. This is the interesting part. We don't see BlackRock. The biggest two holders are this Bank of New York and Armistice at basically $1 million to $1.6 million, which is nothing in the type of positions that normally you'd see from a company like BlackRock. If they come in here, or Charles Schwab comes in here, we could see $25 million plus in investment. Imagine that, an $80 million market cap. If you're seeing these companies increase their positions by 20 million or 40 million or 50 million or even 100 million, which is what we could see in the institutional holders in the company, that would indicate, now this is speculative, but that would basically double or triple the stock's valuation overnight. And so that's why it's so important to watch these stocks closely, even though it's a penny stock. You see 75 million, people are like, Will, what's the deal? You're covering the stock such a low value. Well, when we were looking at Castellum Inc., the Oasis Plus IDIQ 10-year unrestricted contract that they get with the government is a key factor. Why? because when they're in these domains of uh, military support for the cybersecurity, data management, we're talking about AI, intelligence services, that's an industry that most likely won't see any cuts in spending. And as a company that has a 10-year on-demand contract with the government because of this Oasis Plus, they put themselves in the same kind of position as competing for the same contracts that you see Big Bear AI compete with or Palantir. And why is that important? Well, if you look at the news, you could see some of their company has basically achieved $100 million contracts in the past month or so. There's $100 million there for their subsidiary GTMR. If you look into 2024, there was some other good contracts. There was a $3.2 million contract there. They had $11.6 million higher revenue for quarter 3 2024, and we'll see what quarter 4 comes in at. But the reason I say this is because if you're looking to invest in a company that has more of a value, intrinsic value, than what they're currently valued at, I could see this company as one that personally will be trading a lot. Now, I plan to trade cooler stock. I plan to trade quantum computing as well as the AI stocks and the space stocks that we normally cover. But when it comes down to CTM, one thing to know is they might just now be getting some hype. Are they even? They aren't. And so this is why I'm looking at it. I'm not hyping up this stock. I'm not saying go buy this stock. Nothing in any part of the content that we do is based on that. We look at the technical analysis, so you can see this rising support, this resistance. It's at this previous resistance right now, where it may, if it breaks through, that will act as a support. So there could be bullish momentum, but it's also at a point where it could get rejected at this previous resistance that we've seen it get rejected at $1.20. It's not to say it's going to recover. Now, when it comes down to the news, what do we normally see when somebody says cover so-and-so stock? We look at the stock and there's 50 articles that say, buy this stock now. Here's why it's going to the moon. Here's why it's going to Mars. And this stock is going to make you rich in 2025. You've seen it. You see all the YouTubers that are pumping up stocks time and time again. But the reason I like this stock is actually because there is hardly any articles that are hyping this stock up. The last article was a week ago, and it's talking about slashing their operating losses, so paying down some of their debt. It's also, there's something that talks about the 52-week high, but it's not as, let's look at all this hype. That's also why I like it. It's because right now, I'm not going into a stock and people are saying, Will, look at all the hype of this stock. Why are you covering it? No, we're actually looking at values. We're looking at the overall direction of the stock. So again, what I could see happen here, it's at this previous resistance. We kind of called a little bit of a pullback today. Michael Tucker, shout out to Michael Tucker inside of Stockmate. He bought CTM right when we started covering it at market open at around $1.04. So somewhere in here, $1.04. And sold today at like $1.15 for what was a 10% gain. Made some money. Congratulations. He sold out. We saw it spike up and we called, hey, it's probably going to pull back. He sold out when we made that call out. It did pull back down to $1.08. And then we start to see it recover. It's up to $1.21, breaking above that 200-day moving average, which oftentimes acts as a resistance or a support, depending on where we are. You can see in a bullish movement, when it has made these runs up to that $1.64, the 200-day moving average acts as a support. And it was acting as a resistance as it crossed over back on March 6th. But today, it's not acting as resistance as much as you see CTM stock break back above that 200-day moving average, that green line. So potentially, we could see it now make this move that we've seen it make. So you see this move from basically up to $1.70. So those are kind of the technicals. We might expect a little bit of a pullback, and we may be adding to our position at a better entry point if any opportunities present themselves. If you guys want to watch us trade live at Market Open inside of StockMate, we have a special discount right now in the second link in the description. We are going live Monday through Friday at Market Open. If you want to join us, it's that second link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.